Driving with Mayor and Mike.
Cool, perfect.
So who's starting?
Huh?
Who's starting? You or me?
It's Mayor.
I think we started already.
I think we already.
Mayor and Mike. We
Mayor
used to
and Mike.
drive, now we go nowhere. We stay here, we don't go anywhere else, and we work our butts off every day. I leave Manoa early in the morning. This morning I left about 5:30 or so, got here, and we'll go home late this afternoon, early evening. And that's pretty much what I do every day, at least 6 days a week. And Mike, the same pretty much,
crazy.
except he's not leaving from Manoa. You're leaving from what part of town?
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake?
Yeah.
You come here, you go home.
Yeah.
And maybe go out to lunch on your skateboard.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of places to buy food, but more opening up.
Yeah, actually, a lot of the places in downtown have gone to take out. How's it going, everybody? Mayor and Mike.
But anyway,
here.
one day we're going to be driving again, and we'll do Mayor and Mike while we're driving. But since we're not driving to many places while we're working really hard, we thought we'd at least talk about what is happening in the city and county of Honolulu since we last came to you, what, 2 weeks ago now?
2 weeks ago.
A lot has happened.
Yeah. So
Things are warming up.
things are warming up.
We're
Yeah.
thawing our communities and our economy.
We are thawing
Yeah.
our communities and our economy,
Yeah.
our local businesses. And speaking of which, before we get further, we wanted to give a shout out to oneoahu.org. So they have all of these guidances and resources, especially for you businesses, nonprofits that are wondering what do we need to do to be in compliance with our Restore Honolulu order. If you go to oneoahu.org, you scroll down just a little bit and look for, learn about resources for businesses, nonprofit, and other facilities. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it is.
If you're on a computer, you'll see like a 3x3 grid of boxes with pictures. It should be on the bottom left-hand side. And if you're on a phone, it'll be the 7th box down. Again, learn about resources for businesses, nonprofit, and other facilities. And they have, if you're a restaurant and you need to know what guidance from social distancing to mask wearing, even for your patrons, things like that. If you're a place of worship, a church, a mosque, a temple, we have guidance for you too there. Again, oneoahu.org. Wanted to give them a shout out because they're
really
working
boring.
so hard.
You know that, Michael?
Me?
In fact, I'm going to give you the mayor's microphone. I'm taking
What?
yours. You're sounding more like the mayor. I mean, all this
Hey,
down in the
everybody.
details. But anyway, it's very important what Mike just mentioned. And of course, it's all based on this new order that we signed about a week ago that allows a whole bunch of new things to open up. Right, Michael?
Yep.
Should we talk about that a bit?
Let's talk
you
about
want
what's
You want to
reopening.
lead off?
Yeah. Shoot.
Go ahead.
I can kick
Yeah,
it off.
and you have all of these things to share with him. So why don't you, that you help put together? He has a really good eye for these kind of things.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Michael.
All with the team. Shout out to Adam Lefebvre, who has created the graphics in that too. Well, one of the first things we want to talk about is outdoor gatherings. Outdoor gatherings, the number has gone up to 100. So as long as you're having an outdoor gathering, outdoors, less than 100 people within our order, that has been deemed okay. Also,
And what about inside? Can
Ins-
you have a big party in your house?
Indoor gatherings, well, yes, now you can. For residential, non-commercial gatherings, less than 50 people. I don't know if you want to have 50 people.
Yeah, that's
crammed
kind of a
into your
big
house,
party at
but-
your house, but you can go up to 50 in gathering indoors. And the reason is we've been told by our medical folks that outside is much safer being inside. And so the number of people who can gather outside is now up to 100. And we hope that in the next month or so, we're going to be able to open that up even more outside and a little bit more on the inside. But we want to keep track of the number of cases, which have ticked up a bit, and make sure that we're doing everything properly to hold down that curve so it doesn't continue to go up.
And speaking of the bump, we anticipated this bump, right? We knew that it was going to come as we reopened. But we also know that reopening is important on the grand scheme of things, right?
Now, so as Michael said, we did know that as we thought out our economy, opened up our communities, there had been uptick in the number of cases. But it's how many do we have in any given day, and how do we manage them? Managing it meaning we're testing those who are positive, contact tracing, finding out if you're sick, where did you go and who else could you come into contact, and could you have gotten them sick, and test them. And if there's any positives, of course, you're quarantining them and then giving them support if they cannot support themselves. This is really important. The other part, though, and you have it in this one graph over here on masks and things like that, but it's incumbent on all of us to continue to wear our face coverings when we're going out side in the community. You have yours here?
Got mine
Yes,
right
right here. And where did I put mine? I put it on my desk. But face coverings, and of course, we're doing a little violation. We should be 6 feet apart right now, Michael. You get out of the frame. But so we are in violation of that, but we work together every single day. We're almost like we're as close as family as you can get at this point. And so I feel that we're okay because I see them every single day.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so let's go on to the next piece. I guess.
What else? So one is outdoor gatherings, indoor gatherings. The number has gone up. What else has happened, Michael?
Well, as of June 5th, we've allowed TV and film productions to resume again here on Oahu, following certain guidance, of course. Actually, you can see that guidance if you're in the film industry. Honolulu.gov/ecodev. That's ECODEV. I have that written down within the order. There's so many pages here, I tell you, but we have allowed film. Yes, honolulu.gov/ECODEV. You're going to see a button on the top right-hand corner that says Film Office. That will have all the resources you need if you're a producer, director, everything like that. Even an actor, if you want to know what's going on with the guidance, so that way you can be safe on set as well. Because the film industry is huge, especially here on Oahu.
I'm excited about this amended provision.
Because you love Magnum PI?
No. Well, I love Magnum PI, and I'm really excited about the fact that it's going to put people back to work. And before the pandemic, in the past couple of years, we ranged between $500 million and $800 million in expenditures on the island of Oahu, filming things like Jurassic Park and all these other Hollywood blockbusters, and that's fantastic. But the thing I like about this order, it's a way to open up, just like as we invite visitors from off island back on. Now, not inter-island, but flying across the Pacific. So right now under this order, as of last week, if you're part of a film crew, you can come from California, let's say from Hollywood, you can come to Hawaii, but the way you come in is you have to be tested 3 days before you leave Hollywood, and if you're tested negative, you can come. If you're positive, we don't want you to come. But you come here, and after you've been tested 3 days before, you come here, you go to your hotel, you do not leave your hotel, and for 3 days. And after 3 days, we test you a second time. And if you still are tested negative, you can go to the movie set if it's going over to Kualoa Ranch to film or something like that, and then you go back to your hotel. So it's a modified quarantine. You're still somewhat quarantined, and there's a testing component. And so, Michael, I think if we're going to invite our friends from America, from the continent, in larger numbers, one thing we're going to probably require is testing. Yeah. So this is a first step of a testing component, opening ourselves up to people from outside of Hawaii. And that's what I'm really excited about this particular provision. I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know all those
now
details.
You know.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's really important. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and like what the mayor said, these films, these TV show productions, it's great because oftentimes they'll hire local freelance, grip, photographers, videographers, cinematographers. Yeah. They'll hire local restaurants to cater on set. They'll hire local security guards. A bunch of local people make business from our film industry, which is great. Plus, it gets to be the guinea pig of sorts with regards to people coming from the continent. Yeah.
Okay, and what else? Because we're running out of time.
Indoor attractions. So that's movie theaters, that's museums, arcades, bowling alleys. June 19th is the date. We alluded to June 19th a couple weeks ago, but there's so much more that got added to that date.
Yeah, like what?
Well, in addition to all of these indoor attractions, we also have outdoor sports
Well,
teams.
you left out something indoors. Gyms.
Gyms and fitness
centers, right. You can also go there. So gyms, movie theaters, museums, those kind of things. Come June 19th, you can start going to these places again with certain guidelines and criteria, physical distancing, mask wearing where necessary. Okay, you're going to go on outdoor sports. What's happening there?
Yes, so outdoor sports, we're actually going to break it down into two different phases. So phase one is you can, if you have a baseball team, a soccer team, a volleyball team, you can start to resume practices. You can go outside and do drills. You can do those sorts of things. Phase two, which is in the order, and I'll need to flip to the page.
July 3rd.
July 3rd, we are going to be allowing outdoor sports to begin having games again. So that means teams versus teams. That means scrimmages.
Well,
Wow, I got to the page.
phase 2 is, yeah, you found it? Okay, what does it say?
Yes. So phase 2, just like what you said, will allow games for outdoor sports like baseball, soccer, volleyball. Now, however, that being said, and I think that there's a big, especially wrestling, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts community, when it comes to those types of close quarter sports, you won't be able to resume matches quite yet.
Yep.
On July 3rd.
Right.
But that will be allowed at a later date, which will be announced.
And we talked about it just today. How do we open up to that too? And I think there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
But we don't want to give away everything today. We've got to hold things for next week.
Yes, and once it gets written down on document in the form of another revised order, we'll be sure to come at you with those updates as well.
And I'm only joking. We're not holding back on something because we actually know what we're going to say, but we're not telling you. It's that we got to work it out. And part of it is we're looking for best practices. We're looking at what other cities do, what other states do, and then we also look at the guidance of the CDC and also our medical group that advises us on things. And once we get all that advice, then we do put it in writing, send it to the governor for his okay, and then we announce it. But I want to let you know we are looking at that. We need to open up everything in the next month or so. And we've pretty much opened everything as of June 19th, except for large gatherings, major sporting events, major entertainment events. But everything else in one way or another is almost opened.
Yeah. And Mayor touched lightly on this medical group that he's seeing. There's a group of 8 to 9 doctors that he sees, medical doctors, epidemiologists, psychologists, really so that way we can all, working together with them to make sure that as we reopen, as we phase things back in, as we thaw out not just our economy, but our everyday lives, we're doing so in a medically safe way.
You got to hit on these last two, particularly the last one, because you probably can't wait for this to happen. Folks, you can't wait to see bars reopen. I don't think so. I don't know if he even drinks, but anyway, there are those who want bars to reopen.
Yes.
When's that going to happen?
So bars will be able to reopen June 19th. And again, guidelines, oneoahu.org. You can go as long as you're limiting occupancy of your bar to 50% of your maximum. So that way we continue to promote social distancing or physical distancing.
Right. And then education and care facilities?
Yes, and education and care facilities. So this isn't public schools. We should make that clear.
Yeah.
The Department of Education, the state, is taking care of public schools. But when it comes to private tutoring facilities, when it comes to adult care, special needs care facilities.
Or things like HPU or Chaminade, those kind of places.
Yeah.
Colleges in Hawaii, in Honolulu.
Private institutions, private universities, yes, they will be able to reopen June 19th. So June 19th is also the date for them. Yeah, a lot of things opening.
With physical distancing and face coverings and those kind of things. A lot of things are opening, folks, and we want to make sure we get it right. We also want to make sure that we protect ourselves, each other, our loved ones, our families, our neighbors, and our coworkers. And that really does mean don't let your guard down. The virus is still out there. As we said, there's been an uptick recently. You should approach everything when you're outdoors and among other folks, or you go shopping. Wear your face covering. Assume you may have the virus and could give it to others, and they could have it and give it to you. And of course, physical distancing. Don't get close to people you don't know. As much as you want to, or may want to, or hugging or shaking hands, wait until the vaccine before those kind of things start again. And then we can go back to how we are at our very best in Hawaii, a very embracing and loving community.
Yeah.
Anything else, Michael?
I think, I'm good.
You got a haircut? I got a haircut because
we both got haircuts.
Barber shops are open. We got our haircuts, and pretty soon he can go lift weights and try to get some of his muscle tone back. I don't know, maybe not. He needs to get to the beach first. Yeah.
Dude, all this guy. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in, and we hope you have a great Aloha Friday and a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. Be safe out there. Talk to you soon. Mahalo. Aloha.
Take care.
Driving with Mayor and Mike.